Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yeah, we are the sickos that talk Minnesota Vikings football 365 days a year here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you find your podcast content. And I don't know about you guys, man. I couldn't fall asleep until about 2:00 in the morning last night, just buzzing from that incredible ending to that football game.
That's not too bad.
I know Judge been up all night cooking the pie chart of praise, so you probably haven't.
The pie chart of praise, the hottest take, the Substack. Just polished that baby off and published
Let's
it.
go. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot going on here. You know what? Football season, no time to sleep.
There really isn't. No, you don't sleep.
got
You
plenty
just
of-
wait for the next week.
You got plenty of sleep. You got plenty of sleep. And now I'm super jacked because week one was so good. Week 2, I'm like more excited for.
Is it too early to look ahead? And I've been telling you guys, Falcons day and a half of extra rest and preparation. Game feels a little trappy. I think we wait at least 24 hours to start looking ahead.
Did I see Drake London is injured?
Yeah, something happened there.
Well,
so
something you might want to look ahead to. That's a main Michael Penix target.
So here's what we're going to do today. We are live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel as we are the day. So post-game vent line, if you missed it, we are the place to be after every single Vikings game. And you guys helped us hit a peak concurrent viewer number last night, 10,000 concurrent viewers throughout most of that episode. So thank you guys. The only other time I think we hit 10,000 concurrent was when J.J. McCarthy was drafted back about a year and a half ago. So we're going to give our hottest Vikings takes, our pie chart of praise. We'll do nitpicks to balance out the win. And we stumbled into some Bears vent line that we'll get to on today's episode of Purple Daily. But standard heating and air conditioning helps to power these hottest Vikings takes every week. Declan?
Yes, they do. My guy Cameron from Standard Heating came out to my house about a month ago. My AC unit's 20 years old. When we did the inspection, even they're like, hey, this thing's going to be hanging by a fritz. He opened that thing up, and it was dirty. It was a problem. In fact, I have to even order a new battery, a new condenser battery for it because it's too old. It's too old. So Standard Heating can make sure your HVAC needs are all taken care of. Plus, they even gave me tips to make sure that unit next summer and throughout the rest of the year is running efficiently. So go to standardheating.com. They power our hottest takes. Join their smart club. Go to standardheating.com and tell them that Purple Daily sent you.
Who wants to bat lead off here? The first hottest take of the 2025
I
season.
think we let Dex go because he's got like 75. Like just unleash him. Do the entire show. Just unleash hottest take after hottest take, including like your second quarter takes where you were trying to waive J.J. McCarthy and make a trade for Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, or anybody else to replace him.
Okay.
Yeah, we should make that ground rule here that give your main hottest take, but then if we have takes that were living and breathing during the second and third quarters, we should definitely bring those to the surface too.
Okay. I will say the one I'd written down that I'm glad did not come true was I have never been more embarrassed in the Kevin O'Connell era than I was last night. That was a take I was going to unleash. I was going to unleash that.
Wow.
So
just lurking in the draft.
Just put it in the pocket. Put it in the holster. Hopefully I don't have to use it this season or ever again. Mm-hmm. Here's my hottest take, though. I'm actually going to take something that happened also in the league and compare it with the Vikings yesterday and their win. My hottest take is this. The Vikings' comeback win over the Bears was 10 times more impressive than anything Josh Allen and the Bills did on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens.
Wow.
So unlike Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or any of the Tier 1 quarterbacks, this was a quarterback making his first NFL start. A quarterback who had completed just 5 passes in the first half, starting on the road, throws a back-breaking pick six to put the opposition up 2 possessions entering the fourth quarter. And instead, J.J. McCarthy leads multiple touchdown drives, finds the best wide receiver in the NFL, rushes the one in with authority, and you see that moxie from J.J. that we just haven't seen from a Vikings quarterback. And also, J.J. McCarthy had a better passer rating in the fourth quarter than Josh Allen did in his epic comeback win on Sunday Night Football against the Ravens. This game had disaster written all over its face, with the head coach and quarterback ready to take the blame. We had scribes and podcasters and personalities already writing off J.J. McCarthy and ripping Kevin O'Connell for allowing three other quarterbacks walk out the door. And instead, J.J. McCarthy joined an NFL Hall of Famer in Steve Young last night as the only quarterback to overcome a double-digit fourth-quarter deficit. So Josh Allen, the Bills, enjoy it. Go do it in the AFC title game. Vikings, we'll take care of it in the NFC title game. Well, my hottest take is the Vikings comeback win was 10 times more impressive than what the Bills and Josh Allen did against the Ravens.
Declan snuck a NFC title game hot take in there at the end too.
Like that.
I think the fact that he's never played a regular season NFL game before, and you saw him struggling to process and figure out the speed of it, the different looks. So the Manning cast was happening last night with Eli and Peyton, and they brought, like, Randy Moss was on. And at one point, Peyton Manning said, I just saw a clip from it because I was watching the main broadcast for most of the game. And Manning said on one of the plays where McCarthy had to bail and he got sacked, he got tripped up on like a third down, that he goes, man, I've been doing this for 3 decades, and I thought that was man coverage. Peyton Manning, one of the great diagnosers at the line of scrimmage in NFL history. And he's like, I thought that was man coverage. So guarantee you J.J. McCarthy, so whatever the Bears were doing in the first half, they were showing some different looks and some things that he wasn't prepared for. But to watch him solve that puzzle throughout the course of his first ever game with the help of Kevin O'Connell and some scheming adjustments in the second half was wildly impressive. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really hot take because I thought what the Bills did was incredible, and that was obviously a very different circumstance, and that was just a great game. Like, that's the thing about last night is it was a pretty lousy game for 3 quarters, at least if you were a Vikings fan, and then it turned into this. Oh my God, they scored 21 fourth quarter points. So yeah, that's definitely a sizzling hot take, but there's no underestimating, to your point, Declan, what McCarthy did as well to overcome that. I mean, we've seen veteran quarterbacks, I won't name them, that have worn purple, that have not been able to overcome that. And that's what stood out to me at the time, and after sleeping on it, it still does, is things were going awful. And if this all works out as planned, the legend, of course, of this chapter 1 will be McCarthy walking into a huddle with a bunch of grizzled veteran teammates who are pissed off. They're down by 11. Soldier Field is rocking. Everything is going against them. And this 22-year-old punk says, where would you rather be? I don't even care at this point if that's true or not, because that is such a great first chapter, right?
Yeah.
And this is where you got to be careful, too. A lot of teams say, our quarterback, he's a captain. He's a leader, right? If you don't have that, I don't know what it is, for lack of a better term, just go back to it factor. And you look around a huddle with Brian O'Neill, Ryan Kelly, who looks like he would rip your head off for sport. Let's just say Justin Jefferson, who is
for sport. Purely for sport.
Ryan Kelly
drink the blood out of your
Ryan
skull.
Kelly's a scary dude. But I mean, Justin Jefferson, right? I mean, this guy is he is probably, I think, he is the best receiver in the entire league. And you look those guys in the eye, you're down by 11, and you're playing lousy yourself. So it's not like you're playing great and say, where would you rather be? You talk about cojones, and if you aren't sincere about that, you lose them.
And he is sincere about it, but until you have anything to back it up, reference points, or because like Tom Brady built up enough reference points pretty quickly where he could even be struggling in year 2 or year 3 or with Tampa Bay when he's 42 years old or 43 years old. And it's like, all right, Tom's struggling, but it's Tom.
Correct.
So I think we're all pretty confident he's going to snap out of it. When you've never played a game before, and you still have, and we've mentioned a million times the practice anecdotes of they're getting their ass kicked, the number 1 offense in practice, and he's still just like Mr. Positive on the sidelines, dapping guys up. But as a teammate, it has to be in the back of your mind that, all right, he can't just be a rah-rah quarterback guy, enthusiastic quarterback guy,
right.
Tim Tebow guy. At some point, you got to actually score some points, complete some passes. And all those guys you mentioned, the Brian O'Neills, the Ryan Kellys, when he ran that ball in to take a 10-point lead, those guys were the first ones in the end zone, giddily greeting him and slapping him on the helmet and celebrating with him. So, like, you could see, like, they already had a respect for him because we've sort of seen it, and Judd's Camp Notes has seen it. But they gained real respect for him throughout the course of that second half and that fourth quarter.
That's why I said it's chapter 1. Like, because you can't write the book in practice. And I think that you can lay foundation in the locker room in practice, but the book gets written in crunch time when things are going bad. And that's, again, to go back to what I said, that's why I love the adversity. Because if the Bears just stunk and the Vikings had just gone in there and boat raced them by 20, we would talk about, oh man, McCarthy played great, it was fantastic. But there's not 1 ounce of adversity then. Like, this was a situation too, and again, he did this down by 11 points. He looked at his teammates and said, where would you rather be right now? I've covered a lot of guys. I don't think I've ever heard of a guy in his first game saying that, and I'm not surprised he did.
Yeah. Love it. Wow, Dex just bringing the fastball on the first hottest take of the season. Judd, you want to go? You got the pie chart, so why don't you go second, and then I'll clean up so that you can have a little breather between your hottest take and the pie chart.
I am exhausted too. Keep that in mind. I'm riding a high, but I'm exhausted. My hottest take, I've got a couple, but I'm going to go with this one. J.J. McCarthy has already proven he is a better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
Oh.
And here's why I say that. Caleb, at the end of the day, Caleb might be more talented physically. I don't know. I mean, he definitely was the number one. He was the consensus. It felt like number one pick because of his talent. Clearly not his personality, but the package. Give me the J.J. McCarthy. Like, if I'm going to the dealership and I'm looking at cars, right? And both cars are pretty nice, and one car might be flashy. But then the guy in the showroom says, but hold on a second. I'm going to give you the J.J. McCarthy package. And that package has all of the intangibles. Like, the one thing that in covering this, and Phil, I think that you would agree with this, and the O-line committee guys and Searles and Boone would have probably hammered this home, is the quarterback position is not the toughest position in sports, pure physically or athletic ability-wise. I mean, it's very, very tough to play. But what makes it the most difficult position in sports, I think, is all the other things that go with it. Yes. All of the other things, the mental capacity. And here's what, the more I thought about this, here's what McCarthy had to overcome last night. He is playing terribly. The team looks awful. And he has to process and compartmentalize that, right? And he has to do it in a way that he stays positive, that he leads his team, and at the end of the day, that he then can get them back on the same page. But today he has to come back at TCO, and he has to go through all of his mistakes that he can't think about on Monday night. Like, think about all of those things. And I'm going to tell you right now, Caleb Williams, in my opinion, does not process things like that. J.J. McCarthy, already in start number 1 in the National Football League, absolutely did.
Yeah, it's on the physical skill set thing, because I have a hot take that is going to probably build off what you just said. I think the gap between Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy is not what a lot of people think it is. I mean, is Caleb a little quicker, a little more nimble, getting out to the edge, getting away from what looks like a sure sack? Maybe. JJ sneaky athletic too, though. The first couple third downs where they actually turned into sacks, like the way he scooted out of the pocket and got barely tripped up on a couple of those. The run, like beating the Bears defenders to the edge and then juking his way inside the pylon for that 14-yard touchdown run. Like, if you were to say definitively Caleb Williams is a better athlete than J.J. McCarthy, I might fight you on that. I know Thor would fight you on that. And the gap is all right, let's give it a small margin athletic gap to Caleb Williams. A lot of the other stuff, though, is checkmark J.J. McCarthy. And now how much of that is better infrastructure, coaching that kind of draws those things out of you? But it kind of transitions into my hottest take as well. And I'm gonna give you, I have like 2 hot takes that are kind of built into one here. I'm going to give you one that piggybacks off what Judd just said, but then I'm going to hit you with my real hottest Vikings take that no one's talking about after last night, but they should be. So the first part one of this hot take is the Bears made a grave football mistake in the 2024 draft by selecting Caleb Williams over a couple other guys for sure. And I think the Patriots and the Falcons also made grave football mistakes by passing on J.J. McCarthy for Michael Penix and Drake May. Now, I think the Commanders got it right with Jaden Daniels, but the Bears had access to any of these quarterbacks. They didn't even bring Jaden Daniels in they called Jaden Daniels at the last minute, basically, and said, hey, we'd like to welcome you in. And his representation said, you've ignored us the entire process. Why would we be part of your leverage game at this point? So they didn't even really turn over stones in their process for the 2024 draft. And I think the Bears, like a lot of people, are too captivated by TikTok highlight plays. We talk about Anthony Richardson. The people get mesmerized by his RAS score and the fact that he can drop back off his back foot, throw a ball 75 yards in the air. It's awesome. Okay, can you hit that 9-yard out route on 3rd and 7? No? You sail that 60% of the time? Okay. Caleb Williams. Last night was a perfect encapsulation of Caleb Williams and what makes him tantalizing, but also what makes him, I think, fatally flawed as an NFL quarterback. That play where he's rolling out to the right, sprinting away from Vikings defenders, and he is falling out of bounds by 10 yards. That throw, he released that throw well out of bounds, but he jumped in the air before he was ruled out of bounds, and he hits Rome Odunze, and it's the highlight play of the night, if not for maybe J.J. McCarthy sprinting into the end zone. And that's great. Okay. That's the play that's going to be stamped on J.J. McCarthy's resume of this is why right here. Well, let's go through the rest of the game for Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. Can you decipher what blitz is coming? Can you play on schedule? Can you, hit a wide open receiver in the second? How many wide open receivers did Caleb Williams just sail out of bounds, 5 yards, 10 yards over their head? He spent 3 hours having no idea what he was looking at and had no ability to just take a deep breath and hit a wide open tight end with a chance to win the game. So congrats on freakishly athletically falling out of bounds, fading away. That's a great play. But that's not the heartbeat of what wins in the NFL. J.J. McCarthy, on the other hand, once he kind of got settled into his first game, on schedule, intermediate accuracy, stepping up in the pocket, hitting receivers with in-breaking routes, out-breaking routes, just letting it rip on that wheel route to Aaron Jones, dropping a ball in the bucket, decisive when it mattered. One guy was decisive in the second half when it mattered. The other guy was running around, no idea what he was looking at. So, for all those reasons, I think the Bears are going to look back and say, maybe he turns out to not be a bust, but they're going to look back and say, oh my gosh, there were literally 2 or 3 generational quarterbacks here, talent and also football IQ and everything. But my real hottest take is the real grave mistake the Bears made, also on display last night, was in 2022. Much like in 2024, they didn't even look at Jaden Daniels as a quarterback option. In 2022, they didn't even bring Kevin O'Connell in for an interview. They just hired Matt Eberflus without even looking at Kevin O'Connell and even some other offensive-minded guys that were out there. One of the most offensive-starved NFL teams in history. 40 years since they had a viable offense, basically, and it was Walter Payton taking handoffs for 3 hours behind a great defense. Never had a 4,000-yard passer in the history of their organization. And they don't even look at Kevin O'Connell in 2022 from the Sean McVay tree. And last night, if you were to ask them, Ben Johnson's great, but would you rather have Kevin O'Connell and the resume he's built since 2022 as a head coach? I think they would say, yeah, we'll take Kevin O'Connell. So grave football mistakes by the Bears, not looking at other options beyond Caleb Williams and not interviewing Kevin O'Connell in 2022.
I think the 22 thing was, and this is something that drives me absolutely crazy, and it's been a football thing. It feels like it's getting a little bit less now, but it's the old thing of if your team is making a run to the Super Bowl, we don't have time. We can't wait. We can't possibly wait until, are you kidding me, February the 15th or so?
Those are the best coaches.
I know, but for years and years, those guys have been, they don't get jobs until their team actually gets bounced early in the playoffs or does not make them because of that. So A lot of this is really, at the end of the day, the Bears being the Bears. And that helps out a lot. And this is why I'm not convinced. And look, they might be fine, but this is why I'm not convinced of, the Chicago Bears, you got to watch out now. Ben Johnson, are you kidding me? And Ben Johnson, so I think, I didn't count this up, but I think if you look at last night's game, if I am not mistaken on this, do you know where Caleb absolutely thrived? The scripted plays. Don't be surprised by that. The first 20, first 15, my goodness, he's told he's basically fed the answers to the test. After that, it's sort of on you, buddy boy. And JJ McCarthy has a much better chance to succeed, but also to process the failure to overcome that. And that's something that I don't think Caleb is ever going to be good at. Now, the thing with McCarthy, too, is in life and in football, despite all his successes, he has experienced some genuine failure, and he gets it. Like, don't underestimate the mental things that he went through during COVID at IMG. I think those things were absolutely huge, because here's a kid at the time, 19 or so, 18, who learns what it takes to process the failure of life, in the sense that he was really up against it. Things weren't good. So, yeah, I think a guy like Caleb, definitely, you can fall in love with the talent, but what you can't fall in love with is the demeanor, and I don't think the demeanor changes with a guy like Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Yep, personality-wise, there's no question which one of those two guys you'd rather have leading your 53-man roster. No question at all. So those are the hottest Vikings takes. One of them that did not see the light of day for me was about 5 minutes into the third quarter. When did he throw that pick six? Like third quarter?
Yep.
Yeah.
Early third quarter.
Somewhere
Sean
there.
Wright. Yep.
It was like right after that, and I took to my notes here, thought about tweeting it, but figured let's just wait till the end of the game. That this was going to be my hottest take. The Vikings made a mistake by rejecting Aaron Rodgers back in May or June.
You went there already?
Wow.
No, it didn't see the light of day.
No.
I didn't
I'm saying,
officially go there. I'm
right,
saying
but your
I was
fingers.
workshopping the take.
No, I know, but your fingers, your brain told your fingers.
It's on the page. Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, and to continue the point, there's an alternate universe where I would have flushed it out by saying fans rejected the idea, media rejected the idea, and ultimately Kevin O'Connell rejected the idea respectfully, without maybe burning a bridge too badly. He let Aaron Rodgers down easily, but Aaron Rodgers comes out and lights it up for the Steelers, 4 touchdowns, while J.J. McCarthy can't even see the cornerback, right? Like, that was going to be my take if not for the fourth quarter. But the fourth quarter changed everything. Everything last
So
night.
now you're glad that they don't have the old QB, because one, he's going to get hurt, and two, I still think eventually he's going to become a pain in the behind.
Yeah. He's a little bit of a front runner, that Aaron Rodgers. But I will say, like, how he plays for the Steelers this year is an interesting measuring stick, because, you know, if he has one awesome year left with a good coach and good info, just get him out of the Jets muck. If he plays really well, that is a measuring stick for like what the Vikings could have had with Rodgers and Kevin O'Connell. So there's a little pressure on McCarthy to at least play to the level of Aaron Rodgers, so that there's not questions about, boy, McCarthy wasn't a train wreck, but Rodgers threw 37 touchdowns and 5 picks for the Steelers, and the Vikings could have ridden that with this defense. But that take never saw the light of day.
Yep.
That take is buried in the notes here from last night.
And don't forget also the marriage that we are now seeing, the harmony between the pass and the run as well. The pass and the run. Jordan Mason. You go through the fourth quarter, and guess who had some major impact runs? Jordan Mason.
He did. Yeah, we can get into, I'm curious, your pie, how many slices in your pie chart that we're about to get to here?
I count 8 slices, and some of them are done very creatively. There's a lot of slices here. There's a lot of credit to go. Like there are main characters here, but this play had a supporting cast. There's no question about it. And there are some best supporting football player nominations that are going to come at you.
Yeah, a missed opportunity and a write that down prediction, because I was gonna write that down last week, that Joe will have at least 7 pie chart pieces in his first pie chart.
Oh man,
dude, how could you forget that?
Blaine.
You would have hit the over.
That was sort of a gimme.
Yeah.
I usually do a lot.
Yeah, and then a point. There'll be a decimal point or a prime number There'll be like a 3%, 11 per. There'll be some random number in his pie chart. As
You're onto that too. Yeah, you would have got a home run or a touchdown, dude.
Well, Judd tries to land the math plane, and then you could have put the third parlay at him, which is he will land the math plane in addition to all the funky decimals. So we'll get to Judd's pie chart of praise here.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
We got some Bears vent line on the horizon too. Game Day Men's Health powering this episode of Purple Daily. So, as I've been getting older here in my old age, post 40, I've had decreased energy, mental fog, some stubborn weight that would have come off a lot easier 10, 15 years ago. And Game Day Men's Health has been an awesome resource for me. Modern men's health care, where men go to reclaim energy, vitality, no judgment, just solutions. They'll help you with if your testosterone is too low for your age, which mine was measured much lower than I wanted it to be. They'll help you with testosterone replacement therapy, weight loss solutions, treatment for ED, peptides, not your traditional clinic. From the moment you walk in, you're greeted with a modern, almost like sports lounge type vibe, and some good conversations. We were talking some JJ McCarthy in there a couple weeks ago when I went in to hang out with the guys. Game Day Men's Health, Edina, Minnetonka, and soon Roseville. Take control of your health and your life. GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Purple Daily. If you stop in, let me know. I'd love to hear about your experience. Dex, what's happening at US Bank Stadium besides, generational quarterback talent these days?
So if you've always wanted to tour US Bank Stadium, yet you haven't gotten the ultimate touchdown tour. That's right, the ultimate touchdown tour. It pulls the curtain back to getting a special look inside US Bank Stadium. They're available the day before select home games with time slots starting every half hour at 9 a.m. It's a 2-hour guided tour hitting some of the most exclusive spots in the stadium. You can see the Vikings locker room, the broadcast spaces. I'm not sure if Judd Zolgad's seat is shown, but if you ask the tour guide, and maybe you can just say, can I go see where Sports Dad sits at US Bank Stadium? That might be a bonus perk. I can't guarantee it can happen, but you can go to usbankstadium.com. Tickets are limited and they go very quick, so if you're coming into town for a Vikings game, usbankstadium.com to get an exclusive tour. Go see one of the best stadiums in the country. I always like looking at stadiums before the people come in because it's always like the quiet before the storm. Yeah. It's very eerie. It's very eerie before you have 62,000, 66,000, whatever it is.
Before men go to
Vikings
battle.
Fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have not seen the Vikings locker room, take the tour just to see that. It is an absolute palace.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll see the Sports Dad's commemorative flag at the seat that he sits in the press box. When you're done, you could go over to a Sports Dad approved patio, Butcher and the Board. Still patio season this week for sure, looking at the forecast.
It's gorgeous outside. Absolutely. In fact, I am checking out the menu right now because we are actually going to be there with a listener this week for a special Score North dining experience. Here's my question. How does this sound just for the appetizers at Butcher and the Boar? The sour cream chive mash with smoky butter. Absolutely incredible. The salmon, the butcher's cut, the Denver steak. I could go on and on, but I won't. I will just tell you, North Loop Butcher and the Boar, absolutely the best in town. We are going to find out. In fact, the wife very jealous when I said, I'm going to the Butcher and the Boar on Thursday. And she said, am I coming along? And I said, you can't, unfortunately, but maybe I'll bring you something home because
you want to come along? Oh, you want to?
Yeah,
you can.
You want to come along? No, this is only a Score North event.
Men only. Sorry, honey.
So check it out, the North Loop Butcher and the Boar, a dining experience that you will not forget. And hopefully, guess what? It's a great date night too. So for you, it's a date night. For me, it's going to be an experience where I just talk Vikings football with everyone.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
All right, if you're new to this, the day after every Vikings game, we rotate every single week. It's Judd's turn to cook up a pie chart of praise in this case. When they win, it's a pie chart of praise. When they lose, it's a pie chart of blame. You have a bajillion slices, so let's start going through them.
All right. Let's start at the bottom. 3 5% slices, okay? Myles Price, 5%. Why? On punt returns, which, by the way, Sports Dad had expressed great angst about, right? anxiousness. What's going to happen in Soldier Field? Myles Price, 5%, averaged 17 yards on 4 punt returns and 24.5 yards on 2 kickoff returns. Are you joking me? Have the Vikings found a return man, a punt return man? So 5% goes to Myles Price.
Yeah, so I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Brandon Powell last year, while mostly reliable catching the actual punt, which is step one. But it'd be nice if you could catch the punt and then maybe like run for 15 yards once in a while. And I think Powell, among qualified punt returners, had the lowest average yards per return. It was like 7 or 8 yards per return.
It was, no question.
And again, it's one game, but Myles Price, 4 punt returns last night. And it's not skewed by like a 70-yarder. His long was 22. It was just consistent gashing chunks as a punt returner. He averaged 17 yards per return, like I said, with a long of 22. So just consistently leaning forward for 12, 15, the equivalent of an extra first down or two worth of field position is super helpful and an underrated problem this team has had the last few years.
5% goes to Phil's guy, Andrew Van Ginkel. 5 tackles, 1 TFL, 2 pass breakups. He nearly had a Van Ginkster on Caleb. And as Phil said on Ventline last night, that was actually a poorly thrown ball, or else he does have a pick six. Andrew Van Ginkel, though, once again, everywhere. He's everywhere. This game was not a standout game, but it was an effective game, and his ability to disrupt things in a general sense earns him I think, a well-deserved 5% slice of Sports Dad pie here on the pie chart of praise.
Van Ginkel was targeted 3 times in the passing game for -2 yards. Caleb was 2 for 3 when targeting the Ginkster. One of them, he almost pick-sixed. The other 2 combined for -2 yards. He also had 3 stop tackles on the night.
Yeah. I feel like Van Ginkel v. Caleb is Harvard-educated football v. high school.
Yeah,
It feels like Van Ginkel, because he is really, really smart. Like this guy reads things. This is not just some type of fluke. And I feel like he looks at Caleb like a high school senior, and yet he is in graduate school of Harvard football.
Yeah, I mean, but Aaron Rodgers has like a Harvard football business degree too, and he did it to Rodgers last year.
Right, but I'm just saying, like last night, it felt like there was a lot of stuff. 5%, final 5% chunk, slice number 3. Javon Hargrave steps right in. 2 sacks and a quarterback hurry from, ladies and gentlemen, the interior.
Wow.
How long, in fact, I meant to check this out while I was putting the pie chart together and forgot to. How many sacks did the defensive line have last season? Like, what was the leading amount? Because Javon Hargrave is probably on the precipice of becoming a guy that would have led the entire team defensive line-wise in sacks last season, and he's played 1 game.
So I'm pulling this up here, excuse me, from last year, regular season. Let's just do regular season here. I don't really remember what happened in that playoff game. I blacked out. So last year, in terms of interior defensive linemen, while Jihad Ward was classified as an interior defensive lineman, but I think he was more of like an edge.
He was, yes.
Over the tackle, B-gap kind of a guy, right?
He was classified, but he was not used as his classified position.
Yeah. So the interior down defensive linemen last year were Jerry Tillery, Harrison Phillips, and Jonathan Bullard with a little bit of Jalen Redmond, right? So like those 4 guys. Jerry Tillery led that group with 17 pressures, but he had no sacks. So 17 pressures by Jerry Tillery. Last night alone, Hargrave had 7 pressures in the first game, and Jonathan Allen had 6, according to Pro Football Focus. So we'll do some math here. That's 13 combined pressures by the 2 free agents that they signed to shore up that exact problem. And last year, for the whole season, Tillery had 17, Harrison Phillips had 15, so that's 32. Bullard had 6, that's 38. And Redmond had 3, which gets you to 41. So those 4 guys had 41 total pressures on the season combined. Last night, Hargrave and Allen had 13. So they basically had a third of the total pressures in one game as that entire position group the entire season last year.
Because they're coming from the interior, man. The pressure is quick.
Get the mic!
And hold on. Already give me the flag. There we go. Yeah.
Stormer.
Yeah,
The
it's
Barnstormer.
incredible. Yep. He's right here. He's jacked up. He's sleeping right now. He couldn't sleep.
So
He watched
jacked
film.
up.
He watched film all night, trying to break
He's
things down.
grinding the tape.
The other thing about the pressure that's impressive is that Bears offensive line, much like the Vikings, reconstructed, and so it's not. It was a mess a year ago. It's not a mess now. Like, that's legitimate pressure against some good players.
Yeah. So Jeremiah texted me last night toward the end of the first half that he thought there was an injury that bumped Drew Dahlman from center to guard at one point. I want to verify that here. The PFF snap counts are out. So maybe he might have been wrong on that. I think those old Nebraska eyes were lying to Jeremiah because Dahlman played all 67 snaps at center.
Okay.
I thought maybe there was an injury. He thought Tooney went out for a little bit, but
Once you just start seeing things,
he might have just
Guys
been
are out.
hallucinating. Yeah. Too much foot. I know he was watching film with his clients all day. His eyes were probably burning.
Since snap counts are out, what was Ryan Kelly's snap count for the Vikings?
Ryan Kelly. So the Vikings only ran 56 offensive snaps, which is pretty low. It's like 10 or 15 fewer than you would normally run.
It's going to be a problem for
and Ryan Kelly played all 50. Did you think he was out?
Well, he did go in the blue tent. So when Blake Cashman got hurt, he couldn't get in the blue tent. It was like the men's room, the line.
Is there There's a bathroom in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was supposedly done something. They said he came back, but I didn't know if I had missed him being out like a snap or two. So he didn't. So he's just a tough SOB.
You're Blake Cashman. Your hamstring is on fire.
I gotta go.
You're out, and you peek your head in to get some treatment, and there's
Come
Ryan
on, man.
Kelly just dropping the kids off at the pool.
Come on, man, finish it up in there. I gotta go.
Come on, man. Okay, so we're through
The Rock knows
the
how you
5%
feel about pie.
slices here.
Yes. All right, now let's go to the 110%. And I thought about this being a bit more, but I had a lot of slices. 10%, Big Leg Bill.
Yeah.
Will Reichert, 59-yard field goal to end the first half that makes it 10-6. And in my opinion, like, if there were two things that changed that game, the first one was the McCarthy laser to Naylor to set up the field goal, but then he hits from 59, which in Chicago is impressive. But I felt like that gave the Vikings hope going into the locker room at halftime. The second one is the Cairo Santos miss, and then the Vikings come right back and score. But there's a difference between 10-3 and you're really struggling and you haven't scored, and a laser pass from a quarterback who's struggling. And I felt like that pass was like, okay, like this is what he can do, right? And then you immediately come and get the points. And I think that sent you into the locker room feeling good. So 10% to a guy who looks to be back now after being slowed, certainly by the fact that he missed time a year ago with a leg injury. Big Leg Bill, 10%.
It was a bomb. Yeah, the difference in kickers, the miss by Cairo, and then Ben Johnson after the game confirmed that he asked Cairo Santos to kick that last kickoff through the back of the end zone so that no time would come off the clock. Well, you could do it two ways. You could kick it through the back of the end zone, which brings the ball to what, the 30 or 35?
35 now.
35?
That's the new rule.
You could have just kicked it out of bounds somewhere or off the back of one of your own players, but then it comes out to the 40.
Yeah.
So that's more of a coaching thing for me on that kickoff. If you've got kind of a weak-legged kicker and it's Soldier Field, it's outside, it's windy, it's next to Lake Michigan, and there's only a 5-yard difference between back out through the back of the end zone or just like booting it sideways into the stands, why would you ask him to kick it through the back of the end zone if you're not sure that he can? So I don't think you have that problem with Big Leg Bill. If you need him to kick a ball through the back of the end zone, I think he's going to make it happen.
He got pissed too on a kickoff. Like, there was an audible bleep. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think it was after the field goal.
Will?
Like, yeah, from Will. And like looking at the kick, I was like, I think that was fine. But he clearly meant to do something else. But he was like visibly and verbally upset. I think it was actually the same play. He almost made the tackle on the returner. If you guys saw that, I was like, oh god. Anytime a kicker's coming down, I'm always terrified that he's going to get exploded trying to stop a kick returner. But hey, he's clearly got high standards.
If you got a kicker in Chicago and you request, rightfully so, that he gets the ball through the end zone and he comes up that woefully short in Chicago, I think it might be time to get a new kicker in Chicago.
Yeah, or just like plan for kicking in Chicago better. To not know that
With
he's
the guy with the bigger leg. That's what I would do. I'd be like, Cairo, thanks a lot for your service. Bye.
The Rock
See you
knows
later.
how you feel about pie.
All right, that was a 10%. Let's go to 12%. That's right. We got a 12% here. 12%er. Eric Wilson. You know what? I wouldn't have included him, but he probably deserved it just for his play on special teams. The block punt was absolutely huge. But Blake Cashman gets hurt. And first of all, Blake Cashman gets hurt. He gets, like, that's his one. The drawback has not been his abilities or his smarts. The drawback has been his ability to stay on the field. And a year ago when that happened, I don't want to say that the subs who came in for him were terrible, but the Vikings lost games, and there was definitely a decline, right? I told you guys, Judd's camp notes, sweating in the hot sun. Eric Wilson is, at his core, a special teamer, but he also has started a bunch of games, including, I believe, a year ago with the Packers. And he started his career here. He actually started for Zim at one point.
Yeah.
But his performance last night in coming in for Cashman and then on special teams, and by the way, playing them at the same time as well, so that's a ton of snaps, earns him a 12% chunk of this pie.
Yeah, it definitely, Cashman being out for chunks of last year was a problem, but Eric Wilson feels like he's going to lessen the gap between what Cashman and Pace bring and the rest of that position group. So it was a really savvy signing, and the fact that you can leverage him on special teams as an ace, he can block a punt, and you can trust him. If Cashman's out with a hamstring for like a month, you could do a lot worse than Eric Wilson playing those extra 30 or 40 snaps with the first team defense for sure. I like that one. He also got the game ball.
He deserved it. He deserved that. So 12% for him.
How you feel about pie.
15% goes to the guy who distributes those game balls with his passionate post-game speeches, Kevin O'Connell. Now, O'Connell and McCarthy sort of get grouped together in some ways because for 3 quarters things did not go well. But the fourth quarter, I mean, McCarthy is going to get the majority of the credit, and he deserves a ton of that. But Kevin O'Connell also was able to adjust his play calling, I thought, a bit. He helped McCarthy, there's no question about it, because they're sort of a package deal, overcome the adversity. So Kevin O'Connell gets 15%. And he also gets this for his development, too. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award, at least with JJ, of the fact that he's the guy that signed off on selecting JJ 10th in 2024. He's the guy that met with JJ once a week in a year when JJ was not playing. There's just a lot of things there. So 15% goes to Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot to nitpick in the first 3 quarters, but some of it is, if we were to do a vent line or a pie chart in the middle of the third quarter, people are going to be pissed at the coach. But some of this is, Declan brought up last night, just patience. Sometimes in life and in football, you just got to take a deep breath. You don't need to take to social media and light up Thor Nystrom in the second quarter of a guy's first. Just let it breathe, see what happens. And by the way, even if the game would have been a disaster, I still think let it breathe, give it a month, not ideal. Let's see what happens. And so maybe there were some things to nitpick with Kevin O'Connell early in that game, play calling, just conservative, whatever it may be. But there was probably always going to be a rust period with a guy that has not played a regular season game before, coming off an injury too. There's just a lot of things for J.J. McCarthy to work through early in this season. So if that was the worst of the rust between Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy, awesome job expediting that process.
Yep. And I do think the one thing to keep in mind, too, is, and it doesn't get a ton of talk because Ben Johnson gets all of the press, but Dennis Allen falls into the category of not a good head coach, phenomenal coordinator. So, I think the Bears defense is legit. I think it's going to be good. They definitely got some parts, but they also have a coordinator play caller now who's good. So J.J. McCarthy was going against a pretty good defense that knew what it was doing. And I love the fact, too, that go back and look at the fourth quarter play-by-play and see, like, the runs and the pass mix. It was really, really good. And, yeah, 3 quarters were frustrating, but you won the game.
Yeah.
It's a game you don't win a lot of times.
What Joel chimes in and says, Mackey says, let it breathe, but they made a mistake by not signing Aaron Rodgers. See, this is why, Joel,
Mackey.
that take did not see the light of day. That's why that take stayed in the notes section and didn't make it to the hottest takes or the vent line portions of the show.
Your book ended by your last name twice, which shows the utter
Mackey,
disgust.
what do you think?
Mackey.
Hey, Judd.
Mackey's the best, though, because it sort of rolls off the tongue as an angry...
Hey, Mackey.
Yeah, I feel like Judd doesn't do the justice.
Zulgad.
Yeah, I feel like my name doesn't have a... Yeah.
Zulgad.
Mackey. Always
The Rock
doing
knows
those
how you feel
Mackey
about pie.
things. Okay. 2 chunks, 2 slices left. Another little bit of an odd percentage here. Dex will appreciate this. 18%.
I'm nervous about you landing the math plane.
I did the math like 8 times last night.
I don't know.
I was half asleep.
all over the
I was
place
half
with
asleep.
these
So
numbers.
18%. Jordan Mason, 15 rushes for 68 yards, and I will say it again. It felt like more, and I think it felt like more because it came at such key times. He had the back-to-back runs on the first touchdown drive in the fourth quarter that were huge. So the amount of yards actually surprised me as being low, but you know what he did last night, boys? He delivered on every reason why you traded for him in March. He gave you, that was everything you were looking for. Just a tough guy in the trenches, just goes up that A gap. You can stop me if you dare. Through some blocks. Like this is the type of just plow ahead running back that this team needed to get, and they did, and I thought he delivered with a textbook example last night.
Yeah, he wound up, of the 68 yards, 56 of them were after contact. So he averaged just under 4 yards after contact per rushing attempt, which is exactly as advertised. That's what we were going over, some of those advanced analytics when they made the trade, that like the list of running backs average yards after contact per attempt. He was in a group with like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Now those guys are doing it at scale for 250 touches over the course of a season, over the course of a decade, whatever. So not putting it, but in terms of breaking tackles, you saw J.J. McCarthy had a quote last night. I think it was at the podium. He was asked about Jordan Mason. He said it was kind of fun sitting back. I'm paraphrasing. Kind of fun sitting back there watching him, and I would be able to tell, like, oh, that's not going to be a tackle. You could kind of see it happening beforehand. Oh, you're just going to reach out with your arm? That's not going to be a tackle. Whereas Aaron Jones, nice grab on the wheel route, but he definitely looks a year older, a step older and slower, and we'll see if that changes after week. Part of it could have just been the weird surface, too, that you play on in Chicago.
And he's just not that big. Well,
yeah.
Like when you see Mason bull guy, and Jones is tough. He's just not big. But when you see Jordan Mason bulldoze guys, and then Jones tries, it's like, oh, that's cute, but it's not going to work. But Jones, the thing is, his incorporation last night in the passing game, including that touchdown catch, were just enormous.
Yeah.
So he gets credit, but it's like when I watch Mason run, I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah, and once you get inside the 20-yard line, Aaron Jones can be deployed in some certain ways. But if you're looking to run the clock out, Jordan Mason.
I thought the
Jordan
same thing
Mason's
last
your
night.
guy.
I just
The
love
Rock
that.
knows how you feel about pie.
It leaves one chunk, and it's not going to go to Ryan Wright. No, it's not. It's going to go to J.J. McCarthy, and it's 30%. And that will complete the math. And I guarantee it's going to work. 30%, and now you say, but Sportsnet, I'm looking at the box score. 13 of 20, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, that's nice, but a pick. You're sacked 3 times. But I say yes, the box score lies to you. It's lying. Because what the box score doesn't do is it doesn't tell you. There's no category in the box score I am looking at right now that says third quarter, got in the huddle and said, where else would you rather be?
Yeah, where in the box score does it show circumference of your heart?
Exactly. It
That's what
doesn't.
I want to know.
It doesn't. The box score is flawed. It's 2025. Agate people, update your box scores. Get me the heart. 2 rushes as well, 25 yards, a gorgeous touchdown run, and just a intestinal fortitude that, I got to be honest, it was a little bit emotional to watch. Like, that's just that there was something about the way that he didn't give up. I think because we're so jaded, right? And we've seen so many guys play quarterback here. And for a 22-year-old kid to do what he did, it's like, oh my gosh, they might have it. And it's one game. I have no idea. But the box score, in the case of Jordan Mason, I felt like it was a little bit off. In the case of J.J. McCarthy, print the box score out today. Take it, crumple it up, and throw it away. It means nothing.
Print it out at your new Iowa printing shop. That's what you can do.
The Star Tribune. Yeah, go to Des Moines, print it out, have it shipped to you from Des Moines at your doorstep.
Get it 4 days later
and crumble it up. Crumble it.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. I mean, obviously, he was not a contributor to the win in the first 2.5 or 3 quarters very much, but everything about it, man. The stepping up, letting it rip to Jefferson, the Thielen 2-point conversion, to just decisiveness when it mattered the most, when the pressure was at its peak. When he threw the pick 6, the game felt kind of over, especially because it felt like, all right, yep, this is not going to be it for J.J. McCarthy's first win, but maybe going forward once you get back home. But to gather yourself the way that he did in the fourth quarter, to use the pick 6 as fuel for the comeback, it's a rare trait even among the best quarterbacks in the world. To not go into teeth gritting mode,
correct?
But to rise above it, and it doesn't mean that he's not gonna. There's a chance that against the Falcons, a little bit of a they got a couple days extra rest on you, and you're coming back home. That's a good Falcons team that's looking to avoid going 0-2. Like, he could struggle. It doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing and 275 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the fact that you know that if he's struggling, he does have that switch and that gear that he can get to, and we saw it right away in the first game, is really encouraging for the long-term hopes of this franchise.
Is that like 6th gear, 5th gear? Like, what's a gear that doesn't exist in most quarterbacks who have played for the Vikings?
Are you asking for cars or quarterbacks?
No, well, I'm asking for cars, but I'm saying if you applied it to quarterbacks, he's got a gear that a lot of quarterbacks, I don't know that they have. Like, that's what that was.
It's called the Tom Brady gear. If you, I was hoping to not have to put those names in the same sentence.
So if I go to the shop today, quarterback shopping, and I'm being shown, here's the Goff gear, here's the Hurts gear, and I'm like, hold on a second here, where's the Brady gear? They're like,
he's got a little.
We're gonna have to get that
Tom
one
Brady
from the back. Yeah. That one's in the back. We never bring that car out.
Even the LFGs, the let's goes, just like where you're watching him and think, boy, that guy is so calm and poised outside of the football gridiron and at podiums, and so respectful and nice and charming, and then he's kind of a psycho when the game is on the line in the fourth quarter. Like, he's got that part of his personality. Awesome stuff, man. The first pie chart of praise there from Judd. He landed
how you feel about pie.
the math plane. We've got some Bears vent line. We got about 15 minutes left here on this Monday live stream on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Click that like button and the subscribe button if you're enjoying the start to this Viking season. And if you're listening later on, maybe on Apple or Spotify, you can help us out by giving us a 5-star rating and a positive review. So before we get into some Bears vent line goodies and then our nitpicks, prize picks, we're already, listen, man, the train doesn't stop. It's week 2 in the league. And when you open up the Prize Picks app right now, they're giving you a freebie square there. Travis Kelce, 0.5 receiving yards against Philly on Sunday. So you can just go ahead and click more on that one. Or if you're into it, Derrick Henry, 0.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns. Kind of feels like more is a good place to click there. Select between 2 and 6 players right here on the Prize Picks app, and you pick more or less on their projected stats. You place your entry. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more. Super easy to play, and it's fun to win real money during the football season. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code PURPLEDAILY and get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. That's code PURPLEDAILY on Prize Picks to get $50 in lineups when you play just $5. Also, SeatGeek is helping our audience find tickets to sporting events this season, Dex.
That's right. So if you are looking for any type of tickets, whether it's to the Purple, whether it's for a concert that's coming up, go download the SeatGeek app. It's in the App Store. It's in the Google Play Store. And you can get 10% off any tickets with promo code PURPLE10. So you're a Purple Daily listener, and you're looking to score some nice tickets, whether it's for a game at US Bank Stadium or anything that's happening right now. One of your favorite bands is coming to town. 10% off any tickets with promo code PURPLE10 from our friends at SeatGeek. Plus, go when you get the app and you're looking to get in there last minute, pull up the SeatGeek app. You're going to maybe even find a little bit of some discounts and some deals there sometimes too. So go to the SeatGeek app, PURPLE10 for 10% off.
Minnesota Rusco also on board for the 2025 Purple Daily season here. So Minnesota Rusco has been Minnesota's hometown remodeler since 1955, and they can help you remodel whatever it is that you've been thinking about. That project, the windows, doors, siding, bathrooms, kitchens, decks, roofing. You've been thinking about that kitchen for like 5 years. When's the right time? Well, Minnesota Rusco always has great deals going on to maybe help nudge you in the right direction. 70 years of experience you can count on with Minnesota Rusco to provide all of your interior and exterior home improvement needs. It's still deck season here. Hell, it's summer for at least the next couple weeks, and then fall season. So get that patio or deck remodeled. Maybe get something that's more of a Four Seasons. If you're looking to make your remodel a reality, turn to the experts at Minnesota Rusco and minnesotarusco.com. All right, I'll fire these here, Dex on-air production meeting. It's time for some Bears Vent Line. Where we comb through opposing teams' post-game shows, YouTube channels, sometimes sports radio, and we have a small handful of clips here. Bears media and fans trying to figure out what happened last night. 11-point lead, gone. Caleb Williams, inaccurate. We'll start with longtime Chicago media veteran David Kaplan, get his initial emotional thoughts.
That's a horrible loss. It's an absolutely horrible loss. You were poorly coached tonight. Some of the mistakes Ben Johnson made showed you why he's a rookie head coach, because he made some calls, whether it was a challenge, whether it was a decision on fourth down to go for it, that if he watches the tape, he would tell you, what am I thinking? I can't do that again. But instead, it cost you a football game.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm very confused. I thought Ben Johnson was Belichick and Lombardi combined.
No. I hate to do this. Love these guys. They just launched 312 Sports. They are our friends. Dan Bernstein, Matt Abaticola. Let's check in with them last night on the Forward Progress live postgame
like
show.
A team that doesn't know what it feels like to win, doesn't know what it feels like to have the lead, doesn't know what it feels like to come back after getting punched in the mouth. They just kind of revert back to bad plays and not blocking or bad play calling. It just, I felt like I was watching a season from the past. That's all I felt.
All the talk about tight ends. Well, you know, Ben Johnson, they draft Colston Loveland because they love some tight ends. Missing and useless until Cole Kmet made an unbelievable catch because they're giving up the middle of the field. It was an overthrown ball. All the talk about what he's going to do with Caleb Williams now that he can help him unlearn everything that Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron taught him, and he's still not seeing open guys.
Wait. This is all...
The Bears have their own sports day. Yeah, Dan Bernstein and Judd Solgat were separated at Sports Birth. Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second, though. This is all flying in the face of what I was told. But I was told the Bears were different now. Well coached.
Well, week 1, small sample size. Let's check in on the CHGO Bears podcast post-game show here. See how they're handling things.
It's weird because he's the number 1 pick. That's accuracy. It's just that confuses the hell out of me. I'm sorry, guys. It does. It always has. But one of the things that he has been consistent with is when there is a wide open player, he isn't consistently hit him. Oh, he's never on target.
Yeah.
It's over his head. It's to his left a little bit. It's to his right a little bit. Mm-hmm. Come on, man. That is a huge part of the success of this team.
Yeah.
He hits those plays in this game.
Just put it on him.
We win.
Yeah.
We win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very Herm-like.
You play to win
the game.
Yeah, dude, the inaccuracies.
Yeah.
You're watching that game in the second half, and you're kind of like, oh, man, that tight end's wide open. Oh, that throws 7 yards over his head out of bounds.
Yeah. But, I mean, that has nothing to do with play style. Like the play style, you can bring the world's best play style. If I can't hit the broadside of a barn, it don't matter.
Yeah. Amen.
Seriously, it's like this whole thing about, well, he's going to bring a play style that Caleb's going to thrive. But I do think it is interesting that Caleb also, and this sort of fits the narrative, was at his best when he had a script.
Yeah.
And then when it's like, okay, ad lib a little bit, he's like, what?
And McCarthy was kind of the opposite. The scripted plays were a disaster for the Vikings last night. And then when it got down to, all right, it's kind of a fire drill. It's 17-6. You've already thrown a pick 6. Let's just let it rip and see what happens. And boom, he operated. Somebody, let's see here. Euthanasia. I'm still waiting for the Bears to take the North and not give it back. Isn't that what Ryan Pohl said during his introductory press conference?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to take the North and never give it back.
And not give it back. Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Sounds good, bro.
It's not working out too well right now.
Let's do a quick round of nitpicks just to balance out. When they lose, we do silver linings. When they win, we do some nitpicks. We've covered a lot of angles of this game, but Judd, give us just a last nitpick for the road.
Sure, I will. 3 for 12 on third down. 3 for 12 on third down is, and it's funny because the Bears and Vikings were both 3 for 12 on third down. The Vikings did convert at least one absolutely key third down, and I think that McCarthy, his play style should lend itself to being successful on third down, especially because you've got Jordan Mason who can help you not have it be 3rd and 10. Like there's answers to the test if it's 3rd and like 6 or 5, right? So that's I've got about 4 things here, but I think my top one is you got to improve on third down, especially against different teams. You can't be that inept. So, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it probably needs to be, or not probably, it needs to be better than 3 for 12.
Yeah.
I would just say, and there's certainly a lot of different ones we can pick from, more than half this game not going the Vikings' way. But just having better early down success. I mean, the Judd brought up the 3rd for 12 on third down, but I think their average distance was between 8 to 10 yards at one point. So like they were in 3rd and longs every single time. If they weren't converting 3rd and shorts, which is another type of nitpick, but if you're in 3rd and short, you're just in a better spot to convert and continue to move the chain. So being better on 1st and 10, being better on, 2nd and long too, just having more success on the early and 1st and 2nd downs. So obviously then you can have better success at continuing to move the chains and having a better third down conversion.
Yeah. I would say I'll add a pair of nitpicks, I guess. The play clock issues, some of those were third down. Some of them were like the first 2 plays of the game. And credit to McCarthy because he's given the freedom. They call a play in the huddle, and then there's usually a check where, okay, here's the play, and then they'll check it to this if you get a certain look. And so he was up there like a veteran, orchestrating and checking to different things and shuffling things around. But some of that stuff took way too long, and now they're rushing. They had to delay a game at one point. So that's got to get sped up and cleaned up a little bit. And then I don't know if they classified these all as official drops, but Jefferson did not catch 2 passes that he ordinarily would or should. There was the 3rd down and 8 that probably would have been like a half yard short of a first down, but I think the Vikings would have gone for it because it was right in that midfield range early in the game. And then later he had that one go through his hands. And Aikman said JJ's got to throw that ball earlier. Maybe, but like that went right through Justin Jefferson's hands.
Yeah.
So maybe McCarthy's a beat late on that. And then Thielen dropped a pass. Defender made a nice play kind of getting his hand in there, but that's a ball that Thielen usually corrals and hangs on to.
Yeah. I do think that I think the play clock thing, though, that to me it's McCarthy a bit, but it's O'Connell more. Like this is the common thread of Cousins, Darnold, and McCarthy is I think O'Connell must try to push his luck too much with trying to get plays in, because like that goes back to Kirk, and it's like you got to get the play off here. So
yeah.
I think that is actually an O'Connell thing to be cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, and give your quarterback a little more time, 5 extra seconds to just calmly operate at the line of scrimmage. So there it is, the first hottest Vikings takes reaction show here, pie chart of praise. Appreciate you guys. Over 3,000 of you concurrently hanging out with us just on a Tuesday morning, skipping out from work or whatever you're doing. We appreciate you guys.
Headphones on and a fake screen thing up.
Right. It's a great idea for anyone that hasn't experimented with that. For the Sports Dad, for Dex, I am Phil, and this is Purple Daily, 365 days a year of J.J. McCarthy praising. Let's go.